All right, meeting's called to order. Public portion of the meeting begins. The New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law was enacted to ensure the rights of the public to have the advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of this act, the business administrator or board secretary has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof posted on the bulletin board of the municipal building, communicated to the Herald News, the Record, and filed with the clerk of the Borough of Hawthorne. Can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Clavijo?
Here.
Ms. Goff?
Here.
Mr. Palouse?
Here.
Mr. Reicher?
Here.
Ms. Sanford?
Here.
Mr. Totaro?
Here.
Mr. Turco?
Here.
Mr. Doyle?
Here. Would everyone please rise and join me for the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag
Flag.
of the United States of America,
United States of America.
to the republic for which it
For which
stands,
it stands, one nation, under God,
Under God.
indivisible,
indivisible,
liberty and
Liberty.
justice for all.
justice for all. All right, meeting regulations. During each regular meeting, 2 opportunities are provided for citizens to ask questions and to make comments. During the first opportunity, early on the agenda, the meeting is open to the public for the purpose of addressing items listed for approval on this agenda only. Second opportunity occurs just prior to adjournment, and citizens may address any subject matter that is pertinent to and/or directly related to the operation of the school district. If you wish to make a comment or ask a question during the public portion of the meeting, you may submit the question by accessing the Q&A feature on the bottom of the Zoom screen, or you may submit a question via our Board of Education email address at hawthorne@hawthorne.k12.nj.us, which is also available on our district website. When submitting questions via Zoom or email, please be sure to include your first and last name, your address, and email address, followed by your question. We will do our very best to answer all questions in the order in which they are received. If for some reason we are unable to answer your question, someone from the district will respond using the email address you've provided us. The board asks that members of the public be courteous and mindful of the rights of other individuals when asking questions. Please note that the board will not respond to comments regarding students or board employees in light of the privacy rights held by those individuals. Moreover, the board discourages comments about such individuals and will not be responsible for such comments. Members of the public who choose to ask questions during this public session should carefully consider their comments, since they could be held personally liable for any statements they make. Finally, please note that in accordance with district policy, the board will not officially comment or respond to any matter mentioned unless it can confirm that the matter has first been brought to the attention of the appropriate school personnel in an attempt to resolve the issue. All right, that being said, we'll open up our first public be heard on agenda items only. I'll give it a couple minutes, but I don't see any questions just yet. Mr. Spirito, any emails?
No, sir, no emails.
All right, seeing no questions, we're going to move on. And we are going to swear in our newly appointed board member. Trudy, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay. Mr. Carr, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, please state your name, do solemnly swear or affirm
I, Joseph Carr, do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and this state under the authority of the people, so help me God.
and this state under the authority of the people, so help me God.
I, please state your name, do solemnly swear or affirm
I, Joseph Carr, do solemnly swear or affirm
that I possess the qualifications prescribed by the law for the office of member of a Board of Education,
that I possess the qualifications prescribed by the law for the office of member of Board of Education,
and that I am not disqualified as a voter pursuant to RS 19:4-1,
and that I am not disqualified as a voter pursuant to RS 19:4-1,
nor disqualified due to conviction of a crime or offense listed in NJS 18A 12-1,
nor disqualified due to conviction of a crime or offense listed in NJS 18A:12-1,
and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of that office according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of that office according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. Carr. Welcome.
Thank you, Ms. Tengel.
Congratulations, Joe.
Thank you,
Before
Mr.
we move
President.
on, Trudy, I guess I'm going to ask you to conduct one more roll call so we can make it official and he can be documented in the meeting.
Mr. Carr,
Here.
Mr. Clavijo,
Here.
Ms. Goff,
Here.
Mr. Palouse,
Here.
Mr. Reicher,
Here.
Ms. Sanford,
Here.
Mr. Totaro,
Here.
Mr. Turco,
Here.
Mr. Doyle.
Here. All right, moving right along. We have Mr. Sprigo before I turn it over to Mr. Clavijo for our finance administration. Mr. Sprigo is going to give us the 2020-2021 budget presentation.
Thank you, Mr. President. Turning the floor over to Mr. Spirito now.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Cleo. What I'm going to do is I'll share my screen. If everyone could just stop their video, so we will see the presentation. Thank you. Okay, so again, I want to welcome everyone and thank you for attending our annual budget hearing. Our goal this evening is to provide our parents and community members, just want to make sure, parents and community members with an overview of the 2020-2021 budget for the Hawthorne Public Schools. Before we begin tonight's presentation, I'd like to briefly discuss a couple of items related to our district budget. And let me begin by saying that each year, this budget process is challenging to say the least, and requires the administration and the board to balance our fiscal responsibility to our taxpayers in Hawthorne with our focus on academic, athletic, and extracurricular opportunities for our students here in the Hawthorne Public Schools. I can also share that this year's budget development process was extremely challenging. And in order to arrive at the budget we are presenting tonight, it required us to make approximately $521,000 in cuts or reductions to staff, equipment, and supplies. And we're going to share more details in regard to those reductions and cuts as we get further into the presentation. So our presentation tonight will focus on, have a brief overview of our budget timeline. I'm going to talk briefly about the timeline that we go through to develop our budget. We will continue with information about our school district, followed by a discussion of the general tax levy, revenues and appropriations, and finally, the fiscal efficiencies. The second half of the presentation will include specific budgeted items in the areas of staffing, buildings and grounds, technology, security, and curriculum and instruction. So let's begin with our budget development process, which is a process that we go through each year. I do have dates in regard to the year, obviously, as you can see on the screen. But this is a process that we follow every single year. And I share this information because the process, as you can see, actually begins in November. In November of 2019, our schools and our department chairs begin developing their individual budgets and submit them to central office for our review. In December, our principals and supervisors meet with myself, our director of education, and our business administrator to review their individual budgets and kind of give us a little background as to the items that are included in that budget. From there, we share the budget with our finance committee, and we meet with our finance committee on numerous occasions throughout January and February to review the budget, to talk about the items that are included, the items that we would like to see included, and then we finalize the budget and share it with the full board. So it's finalized in the sense that we are able to share it with the full board, and then we have a work session with our full board to review that budget, so everyone has an opportunity to ask questions and provide input. In February, usually in late February, we get our state aid numbers, which are received by the district each year. And then in early March, the board approves the budget for submission to the county so that the county can provide their approval. So before the board can approve it, which we're going to be doing tonight, we have to have county approval. So the board tentatively approves the budget, submits it to the county, and then we get approval back from the county. So again, you could see the timeline that we go through. And I share that just so everyone's aware of the process. I also share that because we realize that many are facing challenging times right now, but I want you to be aware that this budget was developed, well before, unfortunately, any of what's currently happening took place. So just want to have that in mind as we move forward. So this, as you can see on our slide here, as mentioned earlier, this 2020-2021 budget supports all of our instructional staff and programs, as well as our facilities and the total enrollment of 2,484 students and a total budget of $46,820,080. In regard to our general tax levy, as you can see from the top line of this chart, our general tax levy increase is at 2.99, which does exceed the 2% tax levy cap. And please allow me to share some insight regarding this increase. This year, the board and administration have decided to avail itself of something called bank cap, which reflects an additional $344,927, which brings our tax increase to 2.99%. The bank cap funds are based on significant medical insurance increases over the past several years. And due to these increases, the state allows school districts such as Hawthorne to avail themselves of these additional funds. In this year's budget, the board and administration felt it extremely important to maintain the courses and programs we have established over the past few years and to continue to move the district forward. As I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, the district did cut $521,000 or approximately $521,000 in staff, supplies, and equipment to get to this point. So this bank cap prevented us from making additional cuts in the range of $345,000 that we feel would have directly impacted our students in our district. Please know that the Board of Ed did have extensive conversations about the idea of using this bank cap, and we felt the impact of cutting another $345,000 would have been detrimental to our students in our schools. Oh, I apologize. One other item on this slide, you can see that our debt service is included on this slide as well, which includes our payment from previous and current referendums, which means that includes the referendum that was passed in September of 2019. All right, so what does that mean for the average homeowner in Hawthorne? Well, based on the new average assessed home value in Hawthorne, which is $380,589, the tax increase is $100.09 for the year, or $8.34 per month. And again, this is inclusive of the referendum. In terms of our revenues, this graph indicates the sources of revenue for our school district. As you can see, the majority of the funding comes from taxes or our general tax levy. However, we do get some additional funding from state aid, fund balance, and miscellaneous and special revenue. The other thing I will add is that one of the things that the board and administration have been working on over the past few years is finding ways to generate revenue. And that's an ongoing discussion between the administration and the board, and a discussion that will continue moving forward. To delve further into our general fund revenues, you will see that we received an additional $259,204 in state aid for the 2020-21 school year, and I'm going to talk about that more in just a second. You will also notice that we are withdrawing funds from our capital reserve account. And these are funds that we have saved in previous years and now are being used to pay for our construction manager for the referendum projects. And some people might ask, well, why can't we use those capital reserve funds to help fund our budget and reduce that 2.99%? Unfortunately, capital reserve funds can only be used for capital projects. And in this case, we're able to use it to fund the cost of our project manager for the referendum projects. The other thing I'd like to add before moving on is that due to our current circumstances in the state, we've been made aware that additional cuts in state aid could be forthcoming, as the state of New Jersey will begin to develop their annual budget in the coming weeks and months. We are hopeful that the aid will remain intact, but additional cuts to this state aid would require us to make additional cuts or reductions to what is being presented tonight. So I just want to share that information with those of you who are attending. As we move forward, we look at our appropriations for the 2020-21 school year. This chart is also divided into categories which mimic the categories that the state requires school districts to report as part of their district budget. You will also see that just about half of our costs are associated with general and special ed student and staff costs, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a second. The other category of note is our benefits category, which makes up about 19% of our costs. And then you can see the others that are listed there, including instructional improvements, our professional development, out-of-district tuition, debt service, so on and so forth. As we again look further into our appropriations, I would like to point a few things out on this slide, and we tried to provide a little more detail on this slide this year to kind of explain what some of these things mean. And you'll notice on the right-hand column, the increase and decrease column, that out of the 7 areas that are listed there, 5 of those are decreases. And I'm going to talk about the decreases in a second, but I want to talk first about the increases. The increases there, which are significant, are in the areas of instruction and support services. And you can kind of get an idea by looking at the information beneath. The instruction area includes our teachers and paraprofessional salaries. It includes equipment, supplies, instructional materials, and other things as well. Obviously, a lot of that is our salaries, our increase in our salaries, which go up more than 2% this year. You also see the support services, which include our guidance, our child study team, our nurses, our one-to-one services, which includes one-to-one nurses. That also includes media center, technology, and our administrative salaries. However, as I mentioned, you'll see that a number of those items, 5 of the 7, are decreases. And I'm proud of that because I share that with you because we've worked really, really hard in areas that we can control costs to realize reductions or cost savings. Okay. So for example, the out-of-district tuition line, you'll see that we saved saving $118,000. And that's due to the creation of our in-house programs, 2 programs that we're going to briefly talk about tonight, our Bear Cave program and our alternative program. I mean, we'll get more into detail of those, but by bringing those students back, we've realized a savings in tuition, so we're able to reduce costs. Our employee benefits, obviously that is given to us. So this year we were able to realize a savings in that, but that was based on the lack of increase in those benefits. In our athletics and co-curricular line, that reduction, although we didn't eliminate any athletic or co-curricular programs, we did reduce costs associated with those programs. So we did cut that budget slightly. So you'll see a reduction there. Transportation, maintenance, custodial, capital projects, and security, we were able to realize a savings here because we did reduce our staff, which I'm going to talk about later. But we also worked really hard at looking at all of our busing costs, which our busing costs, I can tell you over the last 3 years, have gone up 22%. But we've been able to condense some routes, reduce some of our out-of-district busing, as I mentioned, with our out-of-district tuition. We're not busing those students out of district, so we're able to reduce some of those costs. We're also reducing some of those costs by leasing 2 buses as opposed to buying them this year. And finally, our energy costs, and that you see a reduction there because we've worked really hard. We've upgraded a number of our boilers, 3 of our 5 schools over the last 6 years, and they're more energy efficient boilers. And we've also done a lot with LED lighting. So again, areas that we can control, we've worked really hard to try to realize some savings, because as you can see, even though we've saved in 5 areas here, those increases far outweigh the areas of savings. Another way that we can save money is through our fiscal efficiencies, and you'll see some of them listed here. And I'll go through them quickly. Our insurance consortium for liability and workers' comp insurance, our statewide consortium to purchase our internet access, our bid consortiums for all instructional office supplies, our technology equipment, and our special ed transportation, our E-rate program for telecommunications, our cafeteria services. We do share services with the borough, and we appreciate the fact that we're able to share services with them. And we share 2 things that I listed here, our garbage and recycling services, and of course, the school security that they share that service with us as well. And again, we're very appreciative to the borough for their support in those areas. So the next slide, we're now going to get into some of the specifics or some of the items that are included in the 2020-2021 budget. So to start, I'll share with you some of the things that are included. Our budget, this year's budget supports a slight reduction in staffing, and I'm going to give you those specifics in a second. It does include all our existing programs and services. It includes all of our extracurricular activities, clubs, and athletic programs, our ongoing professional development at all levels, our curricular revisions in accordance with the New Jersey Student Learning Standards, our transition program for our 18 to 21-year-old students, and a creation of an alternative program this coming school year. In terms of additions and reductions, let's begin with our staffing area. So as you can see there, we have a few additions. You have a 0.5 special ed teacher at the high school, and that is a compliance issue to ensure that we have enough staff to support all of our special needs students at the high school. We're adding a teacher and a half-time social worker for our alternative program. We had originally budgeted for a full-time social worker for that program, but unfortunately, due to our budget situation, we're only able to afford a half-time social worker for that program. And we're adding, we've added actually, and we're going to continue to support additional staff for our response to intervention program, which started this year in our K through 8, in our schools K through 8. We're very pleased with how that program is going. We do not want to make cuts in that area because we feel that students are benefiting from that, significantly benefiting from that program. So we're proud to continue to be able to move forward. That was something that we discussed reducing or cutting, but we were able to maintain it this year. You will see below that we have 4 areas that we reduced staff. We did reduce one of our administrative positions. We did have a reduction as one of our administrative assistants. We reduced 1 teacher in the district, and we reduced a part-time custodian in the district as well. In the areas of buildings and grounds, we are leasing 2 buses to replace 2 retiring buses. Many of you are aware that unfortunately, when our buses reach the age of 15 years old, we are required to retire those buses regardless of their condition. So we do have 2 buses that are retiring, and we will be leasing 2 buses. In the past, we've tried to purchase those buses, but unfortunately, we're not able to do that this year. We'll be leasing them. In our area of technology, we are adding a computer tech to support our one-to-one initiative, which is part of our referendum. And of course, our continued efforts to maintain our infrastructure and hardware. In the area of security, we're going to continue to evaluate security measures. We do have some security funds in our referendum that will be adding some security cameras. But of course, we'll continue to make improvements as appropriate and required by the new ELISA's law that many of you are aware of. To get into specifics at the schools, not a lot of new things to share. Again, our focus this year was to just at least maintain what we currently are running. So we're maintaining our current academic and AP course offerings that we're currently running. We are adding a few new courses. This does not require the addition of any staff. There are just some new courses that will be going along with our new pathways that we introduced last year. And the courses are, as you see, our Introduction to Engineering Design, Cybersecurity, and Advanced Drawing and Design. This budget will support curricular revisions in our 9 through 12 English Language Arts and numerous electives at Hawthorne High School. It will allow for continued use of online learning platforms such as Virtual High School and EduSeer for our students. Continue supporting universal screeners and resources for our response to intervention program, and to offer professional development opportunities for staff, including our professional development for our one-to-one initiative. Once again, in our middle school and elementary school, there's not a lot to share. We're just trying to maintain what we're currently doing. However, in the middle school, this budget will allow for curricular revisions in our 6 through 8 language arts, 6 through 8 computers, and our U.S. history course. Again, we're going to continue to offer professional development and support our universal screeners and resources for response to intervention, or RTI program. And again, at the elementary schools, you will see that we have curricular revisions in K-5 English Language Arts, our grades 2 through 5 computers, and grades 3-5 math. And once again, professional development and our universal screeners for response to intervention. And finally, I just want to talk briefly about one program that currently exists in one of our new programs. So I can't say enough how proud I am of our Bear Cave program that we started back in 2017. We started that program, as I said, back in 2017 with 4 students. And next year we are looking at 11 students for sure, with the possibility of 13 students attending that program. Last year, we were fortunate to have the county superintendent and one of our assistant commissioners from the New Jersey DOE visit our program to meet with our students. And what a wonderful opportunity that was for our kids to meet those gentlemen. But I can't say enough about how proud I am of this program and all that it has accomplished. I mean, just the reality of having these students here in Hawthorne with us. You know, we're educating them here, but they're also working within our town, getting to know our community leaders, as well as our, members of our Hawthorne Police Department. Again, really proud of what we've accomplished and look forward to great things with that new program. But as I mentioned, with the continued enrollment, the increased enrollment, we are looking at a new location for that program just to support those students, because it's not only the students that we're supporting, but of course, it's our staff, our teachers, and our additional paraprofessionals that will have to support in that program as well. We are looking to start an alternative program, and this would be to support our at-risk students at the secondary level. And it would support our students with social emotional needs. These therapeutic placements, we have students currently out of district and therapeutic placements. Many of them are programs that have excessive rates, upwards of $100,000 for tuition. And that doesn't include the busing for those programs either. So obviously maintaining those programs in-house and here in Hawthorne, multiple benefits as I listed below. Both programs provide the opportunity for our students to remain here in town, that we can educate them here, and it reduces the ancillary benefit of that. It reduces our tuition and our busing costs associated with these programs. We are anticipating approximately 5 students, give or take. That is still something that we're evaluating at this point, but we're looking forward to that program beginning. So in closing, I just want to share that, the budget, as I shared with you, we are hopeful that it will remain as we shared it with you tonight. Obviously, changes to our state aid would impact some of the things that I shared with you. The other challenge that we face as a district is, our school budget is finalized months in advance of implementation. This budget will go into effect July 1, but we finalize this budget months ahead. So although it's finite in its totality, a budget has to be flexible in order to meet the district's changing needs and things that may come up. I also would like to share that I'm extremely proud of the improvements we've made over the past 6 years. And I feel like we have a lot to look forward to in Hawthorne in the coming next 3 years with our referendum, of course. However, I'm also cognizant that there's always more to do and always room for growth. And I can promise you that as an administrative team and our administrators, our teachers, our support staff will all continue to investigate, explore, learn, and grow so that we can best support the needs of our students in Hawthorne. With that said, I just want to share that this presentation will be available on our district website first thing tomorrow morning. And with that said, I'm going to turn the presentation back, or the meeting back over to Mr. Doyle at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brito. Fantastic presentation as always. I'm going to turn the meeting back over to Alex Leo, chairperson of our Finance and Administration.
Thank you, Mr. Doyle. Thank you, Mr. Spirito, for your detailed presentation. Assisting with the budget formulation is one of the most crucial and delicate tasks we have as board members. Balancing act the moving education forward while minimizing the financial impact on the community that supports it is an ever-present challenge with the rising cost of variables out of our control. As to the figures included in this budget, while they were put together prior to the current crisis, we continue to stand behind them. It is our opinion, after mulling over multiple scenarios, that is the best case scenario in this balancing act of ours. Needless to say, there's a lot of uncertainty as to what the immediate future holds, including from a financial viewpoint. We can take solace in knowing that the challenge we are going through, while a painful one, is a temporary one. The long-term view is that we will come out of this a stronger and more unified community. We can also find comfort in knowing that the team mitigating the situation is second to none. We that have an inside view can attest to the superb job the district is doing as a whole in a time where unprecedented strains have been placed upon the educational system. I would like to thank all those responsible for putting together the budget being presented, including our business administrator, Mrs. Engel, Mr. Spirito, our supervisors, building principals, and fellow board members, including our board president. Last but not least, I want to thank the Hawthorne community for the continued trust and support. We vouch to continue to diligently work on your behalf. Action items. Pursuant to the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Committee on Finance and Administration recommends the following resolutions. F1 on page 3. Continuing on to page 4, F2, on behalf of the committee, I so move.
Second.
All right. As a matter of order, before I open up to discussion, guys, I'm just going to call you one by one so everybody gets an opportunity. If you have any questions or concerns, like to make any comments, so just please wait your turn. We'll get to everybody. So for the discussion portion, I'm going to start out with Anthony. If you have anything you'd like to say or ask.
I'd just like to comment along with Mr. Clavijo. Just thank everybody, Mr. Spirito, Ms. Engel, and everybody who put all the time and effort into putting this budget together. Thank you again for everything you do. It's not an easy task.
Anthony, are you with us? There you go. Thank you, Anthony. Abby, anything you'd like to say?
I would like to echo both the words of Mr. Clavijo and Mr. Palouse and thank everyone who's involved in putting this together. It's definitely not an easy budget season, but it has gone the smoothest that I have ever seen it go in the 9 years I've been on the board. And that's a testament to the strong and hard work that you guys put in. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Abby. Tanya, any questions or comments?
No questions. I just too would like to thank Mrs. Engel, Mr. Spirito, the administration and the board for all their support, their help, and the town as well. So thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Tanya. Bruce, questions, comments?
I'll just echo the same thing. I know all the hard work that goes into it, and just want to point out I'm glad we're bringing programs back. The more programs we could bring back to keep the kids in town is fantastic. And I know with the referendum that we passed in the fall, the one-to-one in grade 6 through 12, that having another technician, someone who is just dedicated to make sure that gets off the ground running. And once it is off the ground running, then we could take care of the equipment properly and have it working for the students. I'm excited that we added another position in technology for the Chromebooks.
Thank you, Bruce. Lou, any comments or questions?
Thank you, Michael. Yeah, I just want to comment that in this particular school year, we've certainly, through the administration and everyone's effort, raised the level of education throughout the district in combination with the referendum and what's to come in the next few years. And I'm glad that the superintendent, Rick, that you did point out, under the current circumstances, this is all very fluid, potentially tentative, and we all have to stay on our toes. Congratulations to everyone, though, for a great job, and thank you.
Thank you, Lou. Marco, any questions or comments?
No questions. Just going along with the theme of everybody else. Thank you to the administration, Mrs. Brito, Ms. Trudy. Just a phenomenal job. I said it last year, and I'll say it again. To put a budget together on a normal basis is hard enough, and then with all the level of detail that's gone in this past year is just making it just an incredible job by the administration and what's taken place. So thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Marco. And Joe, any questions or comments?
No questions, Mr. President. I'd just like to thank Ms. Engel and Mr. Spirito for, in such a short period of time, bringing me up to speed. I'd like to thank the board for having faith in me and putting me in this position, and I look forward to working with everyone.
All right, great. Thank you, Joe. Alex, before I say my final piece, anything else that you'd like to add?
No, I'm good. Said my piece. Thank you.
All right. I too share the same sentiments here expressed by all my fellow board members. Formulating the annual school budget is never easy. There are many moving parts. Every budget presents a new set of financial challenges. Some of those challenges include state mandates and the ever-growing needs of our students and staff, which don't always align with the available funding. That being said, and as depicted in the budget presentation, the 2020-2021 annual school budget supports a very robust list of services, even though we did have to make some significant reductions. Our goal as board members is to do our very best to ensure that the Hawthorne School District provides the best possible educational experience for all of our students while maintaining fiscal responsibility to the taxpayers. This budget just does just that, if I could just get my words out. All right, so moving on, we're going to ask for a roll call.
Mr. Carr,
Yes on F1, yes on F2.
Mr. Clavijo, Mr. Clavijo,
Yes.
Ms. Goff,
Yes.
Mr. Palouse,
Yes.
Mr. Reicher,
Yes.
Ms. Sanford,
Yes.
Mr. Totaro,
Yes.
Mr. Turco,
Yes.
Mr. Doyle.
Yes. Okay. Moving right along, we're going to move on to the second public hearing portion of the meeting. I'd just like to say as a reminder, when submitting questions via Zoom or email, please be sure to include your first and last name, address, and email address followed by your question. Thank you. Questions will be answered in the order in which they are received. I will give it a few minutes for the question and answer at the bottom. I don't see any just yet. Mr. Spirito, did we receive any email questions?
Sorry, I was muted. We do not have any emails currently, no.
Okay, it looks like I do see questions popped up in our Q&A.
Would you like me to take that, Mr. Doyle?
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Spirito.
Okay, thank you. So there are just two questions, one comment and one question. The first is from Mike Sciarra. Just congratulations to Joe Carr. I know you'll be a great addition to the Board of Education. Thank you, Mr. Sciarra. The other is a question by Dr. Morell. And the question is the computer tech. Is this a district position? Also, is this position more of an IT person or an instructional support position? So to answer that question, it is a district position. Currently, our technology department is Mr. Brislin, our technology coordinator, Mr. Memkej, our network administrator, and then one computer tech. So we felt that we needed an additional computer tech district-wide to support this one-to-one initiative in grades 6 through 12. So it is more of an IT person as opposed to an instructional support person. We would love to add some instructional support staff as well. Unfortunately, just not able to do it in our current budget, but definitely more of a IT person than instructional support. In regard to the alternative program, the question is the alternative program only for special education students? Also, where would the program be housed? Two good questions. So the students right now who are currently out of district, they are considered special education, but that doesn't necessarily mean they have to be. We have students who are struggling with social emotional needs, and those students are the ones that will, be part of this program. Hopefully that number is not a large number because ideally we don't want to have students in this program, but the students that we're sending out right now, the tuition is between $80,000 and $100,000 per student, plus the busing. So our feeling was we can, number one, bring them back home like we did with our Bear Cave program, support them here, and as I said, save some money in regard to our budget. And the program being housed, so that's a great question. So we are currently looking to move our Bear Cave program because as I mentioned, because of the numbers, and we're looking to place this program in our current Bear Cave location. So the students in this program would be housed in the current Bear Cave, and the Bear Cave would be transitioning to a new location that would support our 11 or possibly 13 students next year. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mrs. Ferrito. I do not see any other questions, but we'll give it another minute or two Anything on the email?
No, sir, no emails.
All right, well, for anyone who is listening at home or who did not make the presentation tonight, it is available on our website, as Mr. Spirito said earlier. And if you do have any additional questions, you can always reach out to us, and we will do our best to get those questions answered for you. At this point, it looks like we are going to move on, and I'm going to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Second.
Need a second, please.
Second.
All right, I believe we had a second by Tanya. Any discussion? All right, Trudy, roll call, please.
Mr. Clavijo,
Yes.
Ms. Goff,
Yes, I'm so sorry about that.
Mr. Palouse,
Yes.
Mr. Reicher,
Yes.
Ms. Sanford,
Yes.
Mr. Totaro,
Yes.
Mr. Turco,
Yes.
Mr. Carr,
Yes.
Mr. Doyle.
Yes. All right, meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Great job.